Hello and welcome to Paranormal
Hello.
Pursuits. And tonight we have Karem. How are you?
Hello. Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I've spoken to
Good,
you
good.
before. Last time I
Yes.
spoke to you, you sort of commented on Paranormal Path to basically say that you lived in a
Yep.
haunted house with
Yep,
your
that's
family at one
right.
stage.
Yes. We was
So,
there quite a few years back now, it is. But nobody ever stayed in that house for over a year. It was always less than a year and people would move out. It was always being rented after and everything else. But it was extremely haunted. When we first moved in, I thought, great, this is a bit bigger, so this is great for the children, my two daughters. They were younger at the time because they had a room each because we'd just come back from living in Cyprus. And everything seemed okay for the first couple of weeks. And then laying in bed one night, early in the morning, we heard the interior door slam shut. And I thought, oh, that's strange. I hope it's not the previous tenant coming back and they've got a key. But there was nobody there. And this happened a few occasions, which made us quite nervous. And then one of the neighbours came and knocked and introduced herself and said, did you know the house is haunted? I said, no. And so she said, yeah, you might hear the doors go at night at
oh
the front
wow.
door. And I thought, oh, no, what have I done? Just moved into this house, signed a year's contract, paid rent up front and everything else. I thought we're going to have to stay. So it was just me and my two daughters and the dog. So it was pretty scary. And then it started to get worse from doors banging. That kind of eased off a bit to hearing a child run across the stairs, the landing at night.
My
I'd
gosh.
jump out of bed thinking it's my daughter needing a wee, and there'd be no one there. She'd be in bed, fast asleep. And it kind of went from there. I'd be laying in bed and it'd feel like someone's pressing down on my legs, sort of pushing down. And then my girls would wake up from bad dreams and they'd all end up in the bed with me. And I'd say, right, come on, you need to be in your own beds. And my daughter would say, no, I keep seeing someone. And I'm thinking, oh no, it's just imagination. Because I kept seeing things out the corner of my eye, thinking, oh, just ignore it, they will go away. But from there, it got worse because my daughter was a teenager, the other one. She'd come home at night, she'd put her keys on a bedside table, she'd be laying in bed and she'd hear them get picked up and drop back down.
Wow.
And so she thought, right, I'm just going to lay here and just kind of pretend I'm asleep and see if anything happens. And she could hear shuffling in her room, and next thing she saw her keys get picked up and dropped back down. There was so much that went on. So I thought, right, I'm going to get the old crucifix out, put that on the wall, got some holy water as well. Because I am sensitive to spirit, so I knew something was going on, but I felt like I was having mind games in my head because it had been a stressful time as well. And the cross I put in the kitchen on the wall because the dog used to be scared and used to hide under the table.
Oh wow.
The cross would either go crooked or just drop on the floor for no reason. So it was pretty scary. And you'd sit there at night watching TV, and the next thing the dog would be looking out of the doorway in the lounge towards the stairs in the hallway and growling. And you'd be like, no, there's nobody there. I'm thinking, oh no. And it's dark and it's night time. And then she'd be curled up in a ball, so curled up as if she's hiding. And then all of a sudden she'd yelp and jump up as if someone had kicked her. So it was really, it was quite awful because in the end we were all sleeping all together.
Oh, bless you.
We'd get wet patches on the floor as well, like water. It didn't smell or anything. and we'd take the carpet up, have a look for any leaks. Nothing at all. Nobody could find anything. As quick as it had come, it would go again. There was just so many different things. Our names being called as well, which wasn't very nice. Because I used to think, who was that? But it'd be mimicking one of us.
Oh my gosh.
So it was quite awful. I did write a couple of bits down because I remember when my parents come over once. We sat in the dining room. We're all having dinner, and we heard a crashing sound in the lounge, and a photo of my daughter had gone right across the room to the other side of the room.
Oh my
And it
gosh.
looked like a screwdriver had gone into the picture frame on her head. It was like one point of, but there was nothing it could hit because it was just the sofas over the other side.
Oh.
But it was a big room as well, and it had just gone right across the room. My parents looked and said, "Well, that's a bit odd. Where was the picture?" And we're like, "It was on the mantelpiece over there." And
oh my gosh.
it had gone right across. And when my daughter would walk out of the room, she'd have her little hair clips and things like that for her hair thrown at her. It'd hit her on the back of the head. And because she was only about 7 at the time, and we'd sit there, I'd sit on her bed reading her a story, trying to settle her down for the night. And you can feel the energy change in the room.
Okay.
And she used to have, she had a lot of those RSPCA toys. And she had one of those quad bikes, the animal rescue ones, and it was turned over on her bed, just how normal things are, the children's toys. And you could see the wheels going, as if someone had the hand on the wheels going like
and they're moving them. Wow.
Yeah. And we used to always get her uniform ready for the next day and just lay it over her bed.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there reading, and my daughter said, "I don't like her. She's not very nice." And I'm like, "Who?" And she's going, "Her over there." And I'm thinking, "Oh no," because I don't just want to just, blank it out. And then I saw her dress lift up and drop down.
Oh my gosh.
There was so much activity. And we tried a friend of ours come over who's a Reiki healer, and she said, "I'll try and get rid of it." And there was quite a few spirits in the house because she was taking some pictures and there was lots of different orbs. But we was in one room, there's no windows open, and I still from this day now swear on my grandchildren's lives, even my other two witnessed it. The light bulb was just spinning around and round and round.
Oh my gosh.
Really fast. And we was like, "Oh no, we've got to get out of here." And then in the end, we just, one night, it got so intense because we were being my daughter was shoved as she was walking down the stairs. Things kept being thrown and there was lots of banging and everything else. And we got the dog, got the car keys, jumped in the car and drove off to my parents and stayed there for a few days. I said, "I can't go back there. It's just so intense." It was absolutely awful. And then when we did go back, we opened the front door and went into the porch door, and we couldn't get the door open. It was as if someone was holding it shut.
Oh wow.
To get back in. And then
it's incredible. It must be so horrible and so scary.
It was really scary because I'd kind of shut down from spirit as well.
Yeah.
Because I'd always been spiritually aware of spirits and speaking to them and everything else as a child. So I kind of shut down after a rough divorce and coming back into the UK and everything else. So things were you kind of wondered if it was your mind playing tricks, that your children were being traumatized, and when you're seeing things yourself, you just it's like it was sending us crazy. But
it must be difficult, you've got to wonder, because sometimes it can be So
Yeah,
the mental side, can't it?
yeah.
It's not always paranormal.
No, it was so draining. But we did. My daughter took a picture of me in the mirror, and we didn't realise at the time. And I'd love to find the photo. It's on an old phone. There's a picture of a man in the background standing
Oh, wow.
behind me, and you can see him as clear as day. But I don't know what phone it's on.
Oh, bless you.
Again, we need to
That
try and
happens though,
see if we
doesn't
can
it? You
find
sort of
it.
get these images and then
Yeah,
you sort
yeah.
of lose them, but you can remember them so vividly.
It was
So
so crazy.
so you sort of believed in spirit anyway, and then
Yeah,
sort of went into this, you'd had trauma and went into this house and it
yeah. It
do you
just
know through experiences before you moved in for a long
um
time or?
yeah, I'd heard that one of the neighbours said to me, no one stays here. And I was
Right,
like,
okay.
oh, okay, you just wonder locals, because it's a small town. Well, it's
Yeah,
called a town now, but it was a tiny little village before. It was one of the smallest counties in the UK.
yeah, it's
Um,
Rutland, isn't it?
yeah, and she was I just thought, it's because I'm not local, I'm not from around here, and
Which
I've
can
just,
happen in villages, that
yeah,
they don't
yeah,
like people who aren't born
no,
and bred there. I
yeah,
lived in a village for a while.
yeah, and
Oh,
it's,
look, here's a nice comment here from Mason. What a great guest on tonight's broadcast.
oh,
Karen's
thank
insightful
you,
experiences are real. We had similar
thank you.
experiences in our Victorian house in Clitheroe.
Oh, wow,
Well,
wow.
Clitheroe's a stunning place as well, isn't it? Because Simon Entwistle's that direction.
There's a lot of old
And yeah,
buildings there, isn't there?
yeah, I'd
Yeah,
love to go to Clitheroe. It does sound very interesting. Interesting part of the
wow.
world, isn't it?
I mean, the
Does
house we was in was probably built in the late 60s, early 70s, but it's the
yeah,
grounds that it must have been on.
yeah.
But
Did you ever look into that side of things?
no, I kind of, I I thought if I sort of look into more, they might do more to me, because thinking about it, before I moved in there, we were moving, and the house we were in before, because we stayed in a temporary house before we found somewhere, because all our belongings were still in Cyprus coming over in the container, and we had to
Right.
wait a good 6 weeks for shipment. And we had a fire in the house. We lit a nice big fire because it was freezing cold, and we'd just come from like 40 degrees back to the UK, and we're like, it's so cold. And this house we were staying in had a cellar, so there was a bit of a draft. So we lit a fire, and this was when we was planning to move. So I was trying to get the stuff over, wondering when it's going to come because we need to move.
Yeah.
And it just felt like something was stopping us from moving every time. There was
Oh,
hurdles put in
okay.
front. But when we was in this house, we had a fire. We got loads of logs off the log man. And I said to my daughter, oh, close the door because it's a bit drafty, because the draft's coming up from the cellar. So
Right,
she shut
okay.
the door, and the next thing, the fire in the lounge just went, and we had a chimney fire.
Oh,
And
no.
we couldn't get out of the room. The door was stuck. I said, don't be silly, open the door. And she goes, Mum, I can't. And I said, right, quick, get into the conservatory area. So they ran in there, and I told 999. And then my daughter's going, oh, Floppy, I need Floppy. That's her little teddy. So I
Oh,
ran back out to grab Floppy because that was near the fire.
oh, bless
Silly. You do
you.
those things though, don't you? There's
Oh,
ash
yeah, that's
dropping
right.
down. There's ash dropping down, and we got into the conservatory, and they said, can you open a window? And the handle fell off in my hand on the window,
Oh,
and
how
the
scary.
keys were in the kitchen, so I couldn't get the keys to unlock the doors. But we couldn't get out of the lounge, and luckily the police got there first, then the fire service, then the ambulance, and everything else, and we were all rescued.
Oh, my
But
God.
I think about that now, and I think, they must have spirit. I don't know what it was, but there was something that didn't like us that followed us. It was very strange. There was just
That's so
so
scary.
there were so many things that you couldn't answer. But the funny thing was, in this house, and I don't know if anybody else has experienced this. I did speak to an ordain a few months ago and asked them about it, because he's a medium as well, and he's very spiritual, but he
Yeah.
kind of stays private. And this lady who comes to the house and did some Reiki and did some saging and cleansing, and
Yeah.
I was doing it as well. And I've got the holy water, and I'm putting it in the cupboards and just hitting it everywhere around the whole
Just to
house.
try, yeah.
Yeah, and I said to the girls, right, let's just get the whole house sorted out, clear out things and everything. And we were clearing out things, and all of a sudden we heard like this loud bang, but it was like lightning, a ball of light shot from one room to the other upstairs, a bright, really, really bright light.
Wow.
And even my daughter would tell you this as well. We all saw it, and we weren't all in the same room.
What sort of speed?
It was really, really fast, but it
So
was so.
it's not like sort of a spirit just walking. Then it just
No, it was
faster than that.
it was like a flash of lightning, but it was a big ball. It wasn't raining that day. It was
Wow.
sunny. It was nice. We had the windows open. You know, I was giving the house a good airing. I'd cleaned everything down with I can't remember. I used some sort of oil in water, lemongrass oil. That was it,
Right.
because I was
Okay.
told to use that for cleansing as well, to clean down everything. So I was cleaning the walls with it, everything. And this ball of light just shot through. It was almost blinding. It was so bright. It was like a light yellow, but it was really bright.
That's weird. No, that reminds me.
Yeah.
One of my friends had a house and he had his shoes in it. He used to
Mm.
sit on his settee and it used to shake. And it just got
Really?
worse and worse. And he
Yeah.
called out these mediums, and I was there while they
Mm.
cleansed his house. And they were doing things. And all of a sudden, he got a guinea pig. And within the
Yeah.
guinea pig cage, there's a bright white light and smoke coming out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that sort of came out the cage and went out
Yeah.
the room. And that
That's
was because they were
crazy.
cleansing and trying to clear it away.
Yeah.
So whether
But
it was right to do with that, I don't know.
it
That's
could be.
fascinating.
Yeah. But the funny thing was, after, it kind of felt calmer. It felt like an energy had lifted, but
Wow.
you still felt that you had to go with caution. You still had to,
Yeah.
you didn't feel that everybody had gone, because we
But you're
felt there was
always going to
multiple
be wary,
spirits.
though, aren't you?
Definitely.
Living in that like condition with the girls as
Yeah.
well. You
Honestly,
know,
they don't like to talk about it. My eldest one, I mean, she's 26 now, and her son, my grandson, she's got two grandsons, but the eldest one sees spirit as well. And my daughter doesn't like to entertain it, because she was so traumatized of what happened in the house. She doesn't like to talk about it, and she doesn't
yeah,
like them to see spirit. But because I do a lot of face-to-face readings in the house, and online readings, this is why I just use this room
right,
to
okay,
sort of contact, communicate with spirit. This is my space and spirit space. But sometimes they come out of the room, if that makes sense.
yeah,
I close down and everything, and I normally say on your way. But sometimes my grandson will be over, and he will sit there. And I mean, he's a bit older now, but he used to say, I don't like the mans. He couldn't say man, he'd say mans. And I'd say, what man? And he's going, in there. Because he'd
wow,
see him, and he wouldn't go through the hallway or into the room or anything. He wouldn't want to eat his dinner in the dining room or
oh
in the
my
kitchen
gosh,
area, because he felt he was being watched. Or he'd say, close the door. Can you close the door in the dining room? Because he felt spirit there. And we kind of like just left it. And then in the end, I said, oh, you need to tell him to go away. So
right,
anyway, my youngest grandson, he's 3. We've got a big wooden chest toy box in the lounge, and he was running to go to the toy box, and he stopped bolt right up and went, oh, and then run back out, run to me. I went, what's the matter? And he goes, the man. No, I hadn't said anything about the man. Nobody had mentioned it. And my daughter looked at me and went, oh, Mum, not again.
Blimey.
I was like, I'll tell him to go.
Oh no, and he saw him as well.
But yeah.
It's
So,
hard with the children and everything, isn't it?
and I think if you're open to spirit, I do feel that you do see more and sense more.
Yeah, but then, you had got a better activity there, hadn't you, anyway?
Yeah.
So, it is crazy, isn't it? Hey,
Yeah.
look who we've got, Lorian, yay!
Hey. Long
Oh,
time
it's
no
so
see.
great seeing Lorian at the weekend.
Has she
It
recovered?
really was, and everyone.
I hope she's recovered from the weekend as well.
I doubt it, to be honest. I'm absolutely knackered. I don't know about Lorian, but oh my God, what a weekend.
You probably had a good sleep in Princess bed.
She'd got 2 king-size beds in one room.
That's unreal.
Yeah, I know, they were ridiculous. I think I ended up with a king-size bed as well, because I thought, well, why can't I have one of these at home, because I've got the dog.
Yeah.
And he kind of nicks my bed all the time.
Yeah,
Lauren was really good. She didn't have
nope.
the 4-poster, but she had just a massive bed, which was ridiculous.
Lorianne, I'd complain if you didn't get that 4-poster bed.
Yeah, she didn't.
It's not on.
I saw photos, so yeah.
And if she had a tiara on as well.
I tell you what, Lorian looked stunning, and as did everybody else.
Yeah, you all did. I thought you all looked really lovely.
We had an awards presentation. We're basically asked to dress up, and we kind of didn't know. And I spoke to Jenny Sullivan. She said, "What you wearing?" And I said, "Well," and we're comparing things, and oh my God, what do we get? And I'd kind of got 4 outfits, and I bought another one, and there you go, and that's the one I wore. And I actually took one with me as well, a spare one. So later on in the day, because I kept falling over the bloody dress, I sort of had another one to wear as well. But you know what? It was a fantastic weekend with like-minded people. And you can't get on with everyone, but you just get on with it, don't you?
Yeah.
And what Neil and Jane and everyone have done is
they worked so hard, didn't they?
Special.
Yeah. It looked really good. I wish I'd gone. I keep saying I'm going to go, and I'm planning to go next year. So
yeah, well, me and a friend were actually booking hotels last night.
Yeah, there's a few spaces left, isn't there? I believe, because I did have a look before I come on.
That's for next year.
Yeah, I know, because it's 3 nights, isn't it?
It's turned out my hotel booking for 3 nights for half board is actually cheaper than 2 nights this year.
Yeah.
No breakfast included. So you kind of got to get in before they know that people are going.
Yeah.
Because then they put the price up. But it's absolutely amazing. So
and congratulations, you won an award as well.
Yeah. So
that's really good.
basically Neil put out a form what people complete for nominations.
Yeah.
I was actually nominated in the GPN podcast category.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And I was they picked the top 3, and people voted for me, which was oh my God,
Well, why not?
And,
why not? You did so many, and they're really interesting as well.
Oh, bless. And Barry John presented the awards as well, and he is a great friend. And oh my God, he was so kind about what he was saying. I was so embarrassed about it. I don't know if Neil's going to sort of put the footage out. He did video it, so I'm not sure if it will go out on the GPN. I'm speaking to Neil in a couple of weeks anyway.
Yeah.
But so we went there. We had lovely little tickets.
Oh,
we got these plush tables. We had a 2-course meal, and then the award ceremony was 9 o'clock, and I won this.
There you have it. Well done. Congratulations.
So I don't tend to win anything, and the only other thing that I've ever won was the photo competition. And oh my God, I was talking to the Haunted lads, Haunted Magazine lads, who are lovely, and things happen, and with families and stuff like that. And I was kind of saying to Paul, like, it's weird because you win something like that, and I can't tell my mum and dad.
Yeah,
And it's horrible, isn't it? You know, because
I'm sure they were with you in spirit.
It's awful, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's the first people you want to go to, and like, they're not here.
You know, and then you think, I can't because they're not here.
I know, and you know, like all those moments you do things. So if you have still got your family, just make the most of them.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
you do kind of take it for granted when you have family, and it is one of them. But I do want to thank everyone who voted for me. I was like, oh my gosh, like the speech was like, well, I just went with it. Really,
you've worked so hard. You know, you're always doing your podcast. You're constantly on it all the time, in between doing other things. You know, I don't know how you do it. You must be exhausted.
Well, like I said on my podcast, I said during the, you know, when I sort of I'm sorry, I'll catch up the comments in a bit. Like part of the speech was like, I sort of live on my own. Yeah. And on a Monday night, you know, you can have a shocking day at work, specifically now. I have been suffering a lot with my mental health. Yeah. But if I've got a guest to speak to, it forces me to do something.
No, that's good.
You know, I've got an hour plus talking to you. You know, I've got to get ready for it. Talking to, you know, and it's just great to have a conversation. Yeah. It started in the COVID times as well, when people couldn't get out. Yeah. And there's a lot of podcasts starting up now. But, you know, for me, I just do it like there's a person who tends to watch most of them, and well, Carl as well. And when you don't do them, you kind of feel guilty. Yeah. You know, because people are tuning in, and it's so lovely of everyone. I just want to thank everyone for it. And
that's what I do with like my card readings,
so sweet.
Because I've got my private page, and I do pick a card because, you know, it's just something to uplift people, give them a bit of positivity for the day. Right. Or something to look forward to when they come home, because they think, oh, it's card reveal when I get back. Let's see what card I chose. That's, you know, brilliant. There's no paying out money or anything. You don't have to comment if you don't want to. You can take what it says and, you know, take it on board, or if it doesn't resonate with you, you just leave it. But doing things like that, and just little uplifting words, you know, of positivity, and giving people a boost, and, you know, trying to sort of give them a bit of spiritual guidance as well. And it's great because, you know, sometimes I say, who wants a live reading tonight? And I'm looking, I'm like, not many people have said. And all of a sudden my phone's pinging because people don't like to put comments out. They'll be like, yes, please, I'd love to. What time? You know, and I'm like, okay, right, that's another one. And the phone's pinging again. And but it's nice because some people say, oh, how much do you charge for this? Do we have to pay to come on? And I'm like, no, you know, it's just it's a little boost for everyone, you know, because I think that sort of community, you know, we're all like-minded, and it's nice to do things all together.
That's right. And isn't it difficult for so many people at this moment?
Yeah, very much.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why, but this year is bloody horrible for so many people.
Yeah,
and we don't know what's going on behind the closed doors either.
No,
like, you know, I spoke to a few at the Paranormal, and a specific person, and oh my gosh, I was nearly in tears.
Yeah.
You know, and oh no.
Sometimes you thank yourself lucky because you think, God, you know, you put yourself in their shoes, what they're going through, or, you know, and you think your life's quite tough at times, and then they come and they sort of air everything to you, and you're like, wow, God, mine's a piece of cake, really. I can do this.
And I do get a lot of people messaging me, and they do try and help people where I can. And it's naturally what I do, you know, and I don't mention, like, people message me, I don't mention it. Like, I've spoken to a few today, look, about different things. But I don't.
No.
What happens in mailbox stays in mailbox, really, and that's it.
Yeah. It's the same with card readings, because sometimes people break down. And, and when you're doing card reading, you've got to protect their mental health.
That's right. That is a massive responsibility.
It's a huge thing. And sometimes they'll message you again a few weeks later, oh, can I have another card reading? Oh, I really hope so-and-so comes through. And then you say, look, I don't think it's healthy for you to keep on having card readings. Sometimes you can offend them, or you say maybe you could do with a bit of counselling.
Yeah.
Because they need help, and I'm not a qualified counsellor. I've worked in mental health, but I'm not a qualified counsellor to help people, deal with bereavement. But if I can help them in some way and give them some comfort, then I do it. I help them.
I can only sort of give the experiences I've had, the feelings I've had, and theirs are going to be different because each case is different.
Exactly. And you don't know how they are, because one day they can be feeling really good, positive, blah, blah, blah. It takes one tiny little thing to push them over the edge. And I often say to them, when they're really down and you've given them a card reading and it's given them a boost, I say to them, look, if, you feel you're going off track again, because this is all spiritual guidance, give me a shout and I'll pull you out a free card. And I just pull out a card just to give them a little bit of comfort, and then I send them a picture of the card and just say something to them, and sometimes that helps them as well.
It definitely does. It really does. That I had an issue with card reading. Well, I don't use cards. I just do readings without cards.
Yeah.
I sort of learned that technique. I've had two lots of lessons with Barry John. Having lessons with Barry again is a wonderful medium and friend.
I bet it is. I struggle with cards sometimes. I'm looking at them and I'm like, it don't make sense. I've got spirit here. Let's just get on with it and have this conversation, spirit, and
that's right.
I say to them, forget the cards. I'm just going to tell you what spirits I've got. Tell me yes or no. Or sometimes I do like a meditation, and I have a notebook and I just scribble things. They mean nothing to me, or there's snippets of things. And then I just say, right, does this resonate with you? Does this name resonate with you? Or this date? I'll give a day or a month or something and a person's name. And they say, yeah, or a description of somebody. And they go, yeah. And I'm like, right, okay, rest of the spirits can back off. This one's stepping forward, and then I'll get on with it.
Yeah.
And I say, I'll pull you a card, but it might not make sense. And
but like some just start, that like when you get somebody sitting wanting a reading, they want the card.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the card, they kind of wonder, hi Andy. They kind of wonder, then you're not doing it right because you haven't got a card as well.
Yeah.
They kind of expect a medium to do certain things, don't they? Like back in the day when I used to do public events, I first started going and I was taught grounding and protection. And then I started going on events and they did grounding and protection. Then at the end of the event, they didn't do anything. They kind of forgot to sort it out at the end and thought, oh, that's wrong. But now, you know differently that.
I think
some do
yourself.
Protection, some don't, and But back in the day,
definitely.
it's like, well, why haven't they done that? Is it going to go home with me or whatever? And
she
get more experience.
It's funny because sometimes when I do go on a ghost hunt, a ghost investigation, I get to the front door and I turn around and go, right, none of you are coming in. You can stay out there or you can go back.
Yeah.
And then I get home, take my bra off, and all these crystals drop out where I've got these grounding crystals everywhere. But I don't do it as much now because you just kind of, yourself, don't you?
Yeah.
It's all part of learning and how you work with your guides as well, your spirit guides, because they're all different as well. But I do sometimes struggle with some people when I give them a reading because they say, well, what did they come forward for? I don't want to speak to them. And you're like, oh, maybe they've just got a message to tell you something, you know. And sometimes you just have to kind of go with it, you know, or try and tell that spirit to go. But sometimes they're that strong that they don't want to. They've got things they want to finish off.
That's right. You know, like if you've had a family and they broke up or something, and then the spirit from the past sort of wants to make amends, you're going to have them trying to push, the family going, no, too late, you know, I don't want to know. And it's like, oh no, what do we do?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, it's just fascinating, isn't it?
It
The whole
is.
thing with spirit.
Yeah.
I had a right nightmare before the awards. And as Amanda Hancock, who a host with at Haunted Antique, so you know, you're getting ready for this award. I was worried because obviously, if you're up for an award, then oh my god, if you have to go on stage, say something and all that jazz. And I was a bit, I was worried, to be fair.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, oh my god, why just can't I just sit there and have a meal and you know, and it's like, oh my god,
you
know, how
didn't
am I going to react
expect
to everything like that? And I never thought for 1 minute that I'd, you know, go up on stage and. Like for people who've just joined, yay! Isn't that so cool?
So good.
But thanks for nominating and voting, everybody. But
that's
oh my god, really appreciate that.
And well done to Haunted Happenings too.
But when I was, Haunted Happening. Oh my god, they are so lovely people.
They've been going for so long, haven't they? What's it about 20 years now? You know, like, and they've had the same team, and they've just been fully committed. They've worked so hard all together. Because I know when I worked with Dusk Till Dawn, they worked together as well.
That's right, because I worked with Dusk Till Dawn. I did a couple of theirs.
Yeah. So. And it's just so nice to see that they're still going and, you know, putting it out there. They've worked really hard. They deserve it. It's really good.
Yeah,
so I'm pleased, and you got your awards as well, which was a big shock for you. So it's good.
It was so lovely, and like I did a ghost hunt. That Haunted Happenings were running ghost hunts in a room, and I did a ghost hunt, and there's me, there's Barry, John, and dear, I forgot her name. I forgot her name. I've remembered another name she uses, but I can't remember. Oh, she's doing Fantasia tours. She's set up a tour company for supernatural tours. So I'm going to promote her anyway. I'm shocking with names, aren't I?
I think I know what you mean, but I can't think of her name.
Yeah, I can see her face and everything, and I might have to like quickly have a look because that is really bugging me, as it does. Like Liz.
That's it, Liz.
Yeah. So Liz. Brilliant. So and she did the investigation as well, and me, Liz, and Barry were all picking up information, and Haunted Happenings actually put it out live as well.
Wow! And you were all bouncing off each other with what you were
definitely. I was getting something a bit different, but then what I got, some of the other people, because we're doing hour-long vigils.
Yeah.
Other people have got the same as me.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So, you know, I got a date and I was coming in. My dates were similar to what Barry was getting as well. And it was just fascinating. And
it's a boost, isn't it? It's not about ego. It's great because sometimes when you're doing spiritual work, you don't always feel confident about yourself, do you? And
when you first start mediumship, you don't say anything, do you?
No. And then when things happen, you're like, I knew that. I knew this. You know, and then when you're all bouncing off each other like that, it's a real boost, isn't it?
That's right. And that actually went out live. So if you check the Haunted Happenings page, there is the live from there. But the thing was, Spirit kept stopping the transmission.
Oh, yeah.
So they got the Wi-Fi, everything was okay, but then they go live and it's just being a pain.
Yeah, it's like no.
But
No, you're
there's a
not
lot of
doing this.
gadgets which they put on the bed as well, and there's a lot of interaction with those.
Yeah.
Some of the Andy Guy ones, which I'm sort of loving his equipment at the moment,
Yeah.
which are more scientific tools. There was a K2 there, there's a bit of interaction with that, but you've got the K2 thing, haven't you? The phones, the Wi-Fi, but these other devices aren't like affected by Wi-Fi. So it is things like that, isn't it? And
it is.
we were getting like I'd sort of come out of information. Then I've got like there's these two sensors which go red for hot or blue for cold if there's
all right. Yeah.
temperature. That's Andy Guy's equipment. And I said something, and both of them went to red immediately. And the cat ball, and you think, well, okay, is that validation then?
Yeah.
And certain times things were said,
Yeah.
and that would happen, and it was fascinating. So if you get a chance to watch the live Haunted Happenings, that was Saturday, 3:00. Yeah,
so not long
3:00
ago.
on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh yeah, at the Parameet that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we did that at the Parameet, and I've still got an image of something, and it's like, well, I'm trying to make sense
to go
of
in
it.
there as well?
Huh?
Were you first to go in there as well?
No, not that room. We were like, I think they've probably been doing it from, any time from 10:00, to be fair.
So someone had been ramping it up all day then.
Well, yeah, they've been investigating. Yeah, there's been a few videos already. So by then the Spirit, decided, and also Haunted Happenings, they've got the rapport, haven't they?
Yeah.
But there's a big team there as well, and oh my God, they're incredible people. And one of them actually does a lot at Shepton Mallet, and it's the Spirit that he gets on with there. Is the Spirit he knows there, and I got some information through when I went, and he is going to ask this Spirit who the person is who I have picked up on.
Wow, that's good.
Because the guy was from the 1970s and had a stutter. It's a long shot.
Yeah,
but if you could get this name, because I know the crime he committed, I know where. I haven't found it yet on records.
But he will find. He should find out.
If whoever, whether he talks to a guard or a prisoner, it may be that they knew this person.
Yeah.
Because obviously they talk about other stories, don't they? Like, so it's
like
just
sometimes, when before you go on an investigation, I don't know about you, but sometimes I think, right, I'm going to sit there and do a little meditation before I go, just to see.
I started doing that.
See if I can pick something up, and then I'll get visions and stuff, or names, or something that's happened. And I'll think, right, write it all down, just keep it there. Don't say anything, keep it under lock, get there. And then something happens, and it validates what I've already seen in my vision, or the name or a story to something. And it's really good. It's brilliant to have that. It's nice to sort of get that validation. And it's as if spirits come to you before you've gone to that location, which is really good. But no, I enjoy it. I enjoy both. But I did take a little bit of a step back from going on investigations, because sometimes I feel that it gets too much in between. It interferes with your other work, because you're trying to do readings.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, you're trying to do readings and things, and all of a sudden the Spirit appears from the night before on a ghost hunt, and you're like, oh, go away. It's one of those things, though, isn't it? It happens.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone for the kind comments. Mason as well, broadcaster outstanding. Oh, bless you. I just chat.
They certainly are.
Thank you so much,
Mason.
Best paranormal talent. Bless you.
Got lots of talent. And a lot of patience for doing it, your daytime work as well, and everything else.
We can't mention that. And thanks, Andy. We appreciate it. And Andy is one of Andy and Carl. You know, they watch every week, and they're two of the reasons I do this, because I don't want to cancel and let you down. I don't want to let the guests down. You know, you all make comments. Mandy Bell as well. You know, everyone. I just want to thank you all, really.
It's
Just
lovely.
amazing. Like Carl's made a couple of comments. We'll just go back to those then. We'll just catch up. So that's it. It's like people make comments and I don't always get to them straight away, but I do try and catch them.
Not when you're talking to me, because I took the legs off an iron donkey. I talk too much.
I do as well. Once I go off on it.
I know.
So Carl, I know a house you would love to investigate. 2 old women gassed themselves in the kitchen. The stairs, a 20-year-old hung himself from the front room. 2 overdosed, but sadly it's a council house. Can't be investigated yet.
Wow.
My sister lived there in the late 80s. Wow. So it makes you wonder why things like that are happening.
Yeah.
You know, is it on a ley line? Is there a reason that this is happening?
Yeah. It could be, couldn't it?
Or is it I know it sounds daft, but is there a spirit actually causing it?
It could be. You just don't know, do you? I mean, like this house that I was in, when we were clearing out as well, we thought, right, let's go and have a look in the old shed, because there was an old like tin shed thing right down the back of the garden. And we were pulling things up and round the side of the bushes, and we saw lots of different spiritual tools, you know, spirit board, ruins, just loads of different little things, candles that had been burnt, and you know, and I think somebody had a bit of a dabble in something and stirred things up. But it's just funny how people just left that house. I mean, we left before our contract was up. I just had to sort of cut my losses and go, for I can't stay there any longer. It was just
and yet
horrendous.
so many what we do within the paranormal go, oh cool, I want to live there. But
no,
my
you
God,
wouldn't.
to actually live somewhere like that, it'd be hell.
When you're laying there asleep and someone whispers in your ear, and it's really quickly that you can't quite work out what they're saying.
Oh God.
And then you've got someone pressing down on your legs. It's not the weight, it's a push on your legs.
Oh,
and you can feel the bed like it's vibrating, like it's shaking, but it's vibrating, and it feels like it's your body shaking.
Wow,
and
that sounds like my
felt
mate's
it.
house.
Yeah.
When I mentioned his settee shaking.
Oh, I used to leave the windows wide open just because I used to think if I leave it really aired, it'd get spirits out. But it didn't make any difference. Made no difference whatsoever. But it was.
I'd love to go, and it's a
I
shame
wish, you know, it's that they sold the house, and then someone else moved in, but then they sold it again, and now, as far as I know, there's a family in there, but they don't really speak to anybody. Because I've asked one of my old neighbours if she can ask them, but she said they don't really speak. They don't speak to anyone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
that's a shame, because you'd really like to try and help her, but then you couldn't do that at the time. And
no.
I'm also wondering, like you say that you felt this, you felt that, you know, you felt physical. Now you're in tune. Now, would somebody who wasn't as much in tune experience the same?
They'd think they were going crazy.
But would they actually feel these things?
Probably would, wouldn't they?
I don't know. I'm not sure, because I've been places and then you get people who go, oh, I've been tapped, I've got this crawling up my leg, I've got this scratch in my leg, and they pick up on things. Now, I've been tapped twice, and it was within a week.
I've been shoved in the back at one place.
Hey?
I was shoved in the back at one place that I went to once.
Wow.
I nearly fell forward. Well, I did fall forward.
Oh my God.
It was a proper shove in the back. But that was a different story. That wasn't that. A lot of things happened that place. They told us on the one of them had one of the voice recorders, and it said nosebleeds and laughed. And I never, ever get nosebleeds. And about 3 months down the line, I had the most horrendous nosebleeds for several months. It just
my gosh.
pouring. And I've never gone back to that place because of the things that happened. All my things were moved around. We did a seance. The candle burned down really quick, the candle next to me, spat at me everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And then everything in the room that I was staying in was all moved around. I had some books and a notepad and bits like that. There's other people there. I mean, hopefully you might get them on a podcast and they will tell you. But all my books were placed on the floor in the shape of a cross. And the candle, one of the candles was broken up on each point of the cross. It was absolutely crazy. And Loriana know about that as well. I'm not sure if she was there, but she knows the place that I'm talking about as well. So we've had some crazy, crazy things.
There are.
And I still slept in that room that night. I was like, come on, you've got to be brave. But it is, you can imagine that if it's somebody that's not tuned into spirit or anything, how they'd feel if they were hearing footsteps walking along or running.
But can they? This is a thing.
Yeah.
Like there's times when I didn't believe, and I go to places and people will see a mist, that hear things, and I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've got to, I don't know if you've got to kind of be in tune to some degree to get that to happen. I don't know.
I mean, I've gone on a ghost hunt, and this was a little while back, and one of the ladies there was saying, "Oh, I can see him. He keeps making the light come on. I keep seeing his shadow over there. Yeah, we know what you're doing," she's saying, and everything else. And I'm thinking, I'm in tune, and I'm not picking up on anything down there. What's going on? Is it me? Am I being sort of overshadowed and I'm not allowed to see anything? And then it got debunked. Someone was actually walking by, and then I'm thinking, did that person really think there was spirit there? Is that their imagination?
Oh dear.
It kind of makes you question, does everyone actually feel these things or see these things, or is it in the mind?
That's right. Because you are listening for everything, aren't you? And then maybe you think you hear something. Oh, I heard that, I don't know. But then when you do get more than one seeing it or hearing it, then that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
it's a fascinating world.
I mean, I did a reading a few right last month, I think it was, and I had a young spirit come through, a young man, and most people that know me, they often call me Kaz or Kaza. Right. And this was a young teenager, and my daughter's a teenager, she's got all her friends, and they all call me Kaza.
Oh, bless you.
And I'd done this reading, and my daughter was in the kitchen, and it was only us two, and she just got herself some water, and I'd gone in the fridge to sort dinner out, and I heard someone go, "Kaza," and I looked round, and I looked at my daughter, and she went, "Who was that?" Yeah, she went, "Who was that?" And I went, "I don't know." She goes, "Someone just shouted Kaza." She goes, "It was a man's voice, young man's voice." She said, "It's a boy's voice, wasn't it?" I was like, "Yeah." And I thought, that's the spirit I was just talking to. I knew it was him, but it was so distant. It was as clear as day, but it was it felt a long way away, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we both heard it, and we both looked at each other.
That's a big one. If you sort of both hear something and you both look and respond at the same time, that is great validation, isn't it? Because there's times that I've heard it, and it's like when somebody physically reacts at the same time.
yeah, we just, I stopped what I was doing in the fridge, and she stopped what she was doing. We just literally looked at each other and she went, "Who just said Kaza? Who was that?"
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, it's all right." I said, "Don't worry." I said, "He goes through." It's just a cheeky
It's
chappy.
fascinating.
But it's crazy because with my daughter, there was one day, and because of all what had gone on, and I started becoming more spiritual again, because I shut down when I was going for a marriage breakup and moving abroad and everything else.
It's hard when you
So
get trauma. It
yeah,
really is, because you're just trying to deal with the day to day. Like recently, my mediumistic skills have just gone.
yeah,
I think they're coming back again because, I do have lessons with
yeah,
Barry,
yeah,
and it's because I've been that stressed.
yeah.
So much so I've been off work with stress, because it has got to that
Yeah,
stage. And
but
wow, I was in stroppy
we
mood today. I couldn't help it.
yeah, it was just
But hey,
crazy because I was out there in Cyprus, and my parents moved out there as well, and we were staying at their place. I think I've come back to the UK and gone back, and we were staying at theirs, and both the girls had a room together, two little single beds, and my youngest woke up crying, sitting up in bed. And I was like, "Oh, she had a nightmare. I better get her to the loo in case she wets herself," because she was only about 4. And I'm saying, "It's all right." I said, "Come on, I'll take you to the toilet." And it was as if she was in a trance.
oh
So I took her
wow,
to the toilet, got her back in bed, and I walked back in the room, and I thought it was my mum, because it was pitch black, and we're up in the mountains in Cyprus as well, up the hills, and there's just no one around, and it's completely pitch black, and they're going like this on the edge of the bed as if they're straightening down the sheets.
right,
And I went, "Oh, it's all right." I said, she's had a bit of a nightmare." I said, "You won't wake her. She's fine." I said, "You can talk, because it's all right." And then they walked through the patio doors off the balcony. I was like, "Oh, I thought that was my mum." And I just kind of shot out of the room, because I thought, "Who was that?" I was talking to a real person. Well, I thought they were a person, because it was dark as well, but I could see the full figure, but didn't really
yeah,
see their face. And then I went and woke my mum up. I said, "Mum, can you sleep in my room?" I said, "I've just seen someone that looked like you walking around the bedroom."
madness,
It was,
yeah,
and then that was when I started becoming spiritual again, because I started seeing things. And then when I moved back and in this house, my daughter was sitting on the sofa on her phone, as they do, like this,
oh
and
gosh,
me
yeah,
up on the sofa. It's chucking it down with rain, so I run out to get the washing in, and I've come back in. I've got it all like this, and it's all getting creased and wet. And I said, "You could have helped me." And she just looked at me and smiled. Now, because we live in a bungalow, I walked through the dining room and the lounge bit, through the hallway, past her room. She's sitting on her bed. It was a double of her on the sofa.
wow,
And then I was telling my spiritual teacher, because I've had someone that's kind of given me spiritual guidance for
yeah,
years. And she said to me, that's her twin. She's growing with her in spirit.
wow,
So, which was nice, but it was
yeah.
just funny because she didn't speak. She just looked at me and smiled. And I thought, well, you're not going to backchat me, as they do.
Yeah,
They
that's
smiled. Same length of hair, everything. It was just
wow,
crazy. But it's been a long journey to get where I am now, back spiritually, which
yeah,
is really good. Which I like, because as a child I thought everybody saw spirits. I
right.
thought it was
I get you,
normal.
because you wouldn't know any different, would you?
I didn't. This. we was going to the shops. I was about 6 years old, 6 or 7 years old. We were walking to the shops with my mum. She's got her bags, getting the usual, you know, and this lady walking in front of us collapsed on the floor, and I think she had a heart attack. But, you know, we're going back sort of 70s, mid-70s.
Yeah, it's different.
And she's laying on the floor, and I'm watching her take her last breath as my mum's run off to the phone box, because no one had phones then. She's
oh, God, no, I had that with my grandfather, trying to run around the street looking for a phone cable into a house.
Yeah. And I'm watching her lips go blue, and she's going that grey colour. She's taking a few deep breaths. And then Mum said, oh, I think she's passed like this, and still waiting for the ambulance. And my mum said, oh, you need to, because my sister's like, can we still get some sweets? And Mum said to my sister, yeah, go to the shop, go and get your sweets. And Mum goes, go with her. And I went, that's all right. And Mum goes, no, go on, because you don't need to see this. And I said, she's fine. She's going to the shops herself now. And Mum's like, no, you know, she's laying here dead. But I saw her walk away from her body.
Oh,
I just thought, I was fascinated. It didn't scare me. It was fascination. And then I said to Mum, where does she live? So she goes, she lives in the cul-de-sac just round there. She goes, in the little arched houses. And I was like, oh, well, she didn't get her shopping then because she's going to the shops, you know, because she was walking that way to the shops. And my mum's going, I don't think the shops are important right now, you know, because I was like, oh, wow.
I think I just saw a shadow behind you.
Did you? You probably did.
Yeah.
I get all sorts.
Yeah, so where it says your name, it's the opposite side, just quite close to you, just behind you.
What, this side?
The other side.
Like this side, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
probably. Yeah, we get everything. It's great. It doesn't bother me anymore. It really doesn't.
Oh, no, you do get used to it. Like, I could be in here and something will fall in the back room. It's like, oh, okay then.
Yeah,
you know.
Even when I was 10 years old and we're doing handstands at the wall, all of us playing on the green, and because we had this little corner green bit on the estate, and we were all doing our handstands, messing around, and I saw my granddad, and he died. He died, you know, he'd had his funeral. It was a few weeks after his funeral, and I saw him, and I went, "There's granddad," and they're like, "Where?" I'm like, over there. Nobody could see him, and I could see him. I said, he's with his bike as well. I said, he's going over the bridge, because that's where he used to always go with his bike. And he stood there and smiled, and I just waved. And I went home, and I said, oh, I've just seen Granddad. Mum looked at my dad and went, oh, here we go again.
Oh, wow.
I was like, no, he's not really dead. I said, he's still alive.
So they didn't believe you at all? Did they believe that you saw spirit?
They thought I was just crazy, because I'd sit there and I'd say, so-and-so is going to phone in a minute. And we used to, all of us children used to have to line up in the hallway and have our shoes polished before we went to my gran's. And we used to get on the train and then go up to Basildon to go and see him, and go to Wickford and that. And I said to my dad, I said, we don't need our shoes polishing. He's going, yes, you do. You've got to look smart, because they always made sure we were all clean and tidy and shoes shiny. And I said, they're coming to us. It's a surprise. And my dad's looked at my mum, and Mum said, I don't know. And the next thing, they turned up. And things like that used to happen all the time. And in the end, they just gave up. They just used to go with what I used to say.
That's fascinating, because I always knew who was phoning.
Yeah. It's crazy,
if the phone went in the house, I always knew who was calling. Well, I knew before they actually phoned.
Yeah.
And, you know, and if people ever are like that, you know, like, even now, you know, if you know when you're going to get a phone call, it's still sort of psychic or in tune. Even if you don't think you are, you know, there can be anything, can't there? You know, which I've got the thing is, I've got a tap in my house. The hot tap comes on.
I really
sit here, and then you can hear it really running. And I can really hear it running, and you think, well, did I leave it on? It's just changing that pressure or something, and I always kind of wonder why it does it. And
sometimes that's happened to me, and I just say, "Do you mind? I'm on a meter."
Oh my gosh, I might not
don't do that.
meter, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it goes on, you know. I don't know if someone turns it on or it just does it on its own. I don't know.
It's crazy.
Generally,
Isn't
a
it?
tap can't do it on its own, can it? So I don't know.
No.
So I saw my mum-in-law walk or rather glide across the back of our house. When I told my wife, she said she'd seen exactly the same. Oh wow,
that's nice.
it's beautiful.
It's the same with smells as well. People get smells, don't they? A waft of a smell.
Yes.
Sometimes
Sometimes
I get one. It's a strong cigarette smell, and they won't leave you alone until you've messaged that person who you feel that the message is for.
Oh wow!
You know, and then as soon as I get it every year, and it's this one particular friend who I worked with years ago, and it's her granddad that smoked really heavy.
Oh, okay.
And I forget when it is, and I just message her. I haven't got a phone number; it's just on Facebook. And she says, "Yeah, it's so and so's anniversary, or so and so."
Oh, bless you.
Or there's something going on with her, but it's
okay.
always. But you're sitting there and you're like, "Oh, the smoke is really like strong." It's like being in a pub all night.
Oh, bless you.
You know, years ago when they used to
Back in the
smoke.
day, yeah. That's when I first got a pub, that is.
Yeah.
My gosh. But yeah.
You can't get rid of the smell. And, you know, until you get
Wow.
that message across, it's still there. And then it goes. And then you're like, goodness for that. But I don't know. It's just crazy, some of the things that I used to do as a child spiritually. Like I'd sit there and watch TV, but I wasn't watching TV. And my parents used to say to me, you should just sit there and daydream. And I used to say to them, yeah, that's because I used to make myself go outside and watch you all inside. I used to practice astral projection, yeah, but I didn't know what it was. I couldn't wait to go to bed so I could do it at night.
Oh my
I'd lay in
gosh.
bed and I'd think, right, you've got to lay very still, arms down, like this, and you've got to focus. And then you're going to go and travel. And I used to do it. And I used to think it was so cool because I just thought it was normal. And yet it was, you know, and scrying as well, looking in the mirror, staring in the mirror to make your face change. I used to think, I wonder what face I can get. So I'd brush my teeth and then take my toothbrush out and then stare at myself in the mirror to see what I'd get. And my mum would be like, are you finished in that bathroom yet? You need to get to bed. And I'd be like, oh, I'm a man tonight. You know, a scary face. You know, I just thought it was normal.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't know any different. And
no.
Your parents are like, yeah, whatever, weren't they, basically, and just leave you to it.
Yeah, but my brothers used to call me like the weirdo and the witch and things like that, you know, because they used to always think I was a bit odd because I'd say something to them and it would happen.
Oh
and they used to hate it, or if they were going to get told off for something, because I remember once we were sitting there and we was playing with a ring on a piece of cotton, me and a couple of friends. And this was when I was about 11 or 12. And I picked up on where her gran lived in Ireland. And going to a convent school, it was all like meant to be good little Catholic girls and not dabble with things like that. And I sat there and said, oh, my brother's going to get in trouble. And they said, why? I said, because he's gone across the graveyard for a shortcut home. I said, and someone's told me mum. And he got home and I said, you're going to be in trouble. And he went, what? And then mum goes, you went across the graveyard, didn't you? You took the shortcut. You know you're not supposed to go that way.
Oh, my gosh.
And he was like, how did they know? But then I said, the shadow man told me, because when I was growing up, I used to call him like the rat man. He was a tall man and he had a hat on, like a trilby hat, very tall. And he used to come to my room every night. Wow. And I used to have to make my mum check under the bed, check in the wardrobe, because I could smell rats. And we say, well, what do rats smell like? Cold baked beans. That's the only way I could describe the smell.
Oh my God.
And he used to come to my room every night. and he used to scare me, but I think he was putting me on that spiritual journey, that path.
Yeah. Do you know now who he may have been?
I think he was a guide. I still think he
Right.
was a guide.
Or do you think he was a relative or something? And a
Probably,
guide.
yeah, from many years back,
Yeah.
like family member. Because I had another one as well, and she used to scare me because sometimes I'd sort of sit in the garden and meditate, or just close my eyes, and just chill or make a little camp in the garden. And I used to see this woman, and she used to like really sort of scare me. And it was my mum's auntie. And I described her one day, but she had those almost jet black eyes. There's not many people, because she was Romany gypsy, and her name
Right.
was called Auntie Rose. And when I was a lot younger, we used to go to her house, but we didn't really spend much time there because everyone kind of thought she was a bit odd, because she had a little round velvet table, she had crystal ball, beads on her
Oh.
doorways. I didn't realise she was spiritual. I knew that we had a connection,
Yeah.
but didn't know what she actually did. I just thought we were all like it.
Yeah.
And that was who I was seeing.
My gosh.
My mum said, "Oh, it sounds like your great Auntie Rosie." And then I remembered, and I was like, "Oh yeah." I said, what did she die of?" I said, "Because she was very sad." And Mum said, "Nobody knows. They think it's a broken heart, because her and
Oh.
her husband really loved each other, and it was just them two."
Oh no.
So she used to come to me all the time, and then once it was validated who she was, she doesn't come anymore.
Oh.
So I think it was keeping her memory alive.
Yeah.
So, it's just,
Isn't it a shame though that you couldn't have a conversation with her as a child, and
yeah,
she couldn't have helped you?
yeah.
But
I
people
was,
didn't speak about it then, though, did they? And it.
no, you weren't allowed to. You wouldn't
Well,
dare ask
no.
questions if you get clipped round the ear roll.
Well, like I think I've mentioned it before. Like I used to go to my gran and granddad's. Like
Yeah,
my dad did a market, so he used to drive to Mansfield, about 15 miles away. We used to
yeah,
go to gran and granddad's while he did the market, and
yeah,
they had a little porch, and in there was the penny from the
yeah,
war, like, and it
yeah.
had a name on it. We always wondered who that was.
Mm.
We never knew it was my granddad's brother,
No,
but
you wouldn't ask, would you? You'd feel
you
that you get
couldn't.
told off for being rude.
Yeah, you never ask questions.
No,
You were there. We played dominoes, we played games, we watched
yeah,
TV, but
yeah,
things were so different then. It was
mm,
a totally different world, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm lucky my mum's still alive, and so is my dad. My dad's in his 80s, and we
Wow.
can talk about these things now,
Of course, yeah.
which is really nice, because they
That is
remind me of the
good.
things that I used to do as well. I used to love walking around graveyards and looking at people's headstones and then trying to work out what happened to them, or try and see if I could
Wow.
see them. But my
Love it.
godmother used to take me to these places as well. She knew, but it was never spoken about. You
So,
know,
do you see your godmother now then?
yeah, yeah, she comes through now and again.
Right,
She,
okay.
and I think she knew that I was spiritual, because she never questioned anything, but she kind of encouraged it in a way that she wouldn't speak out.
Oh no,
But
Andy. Uh-oh.
what's that?
Do you have a connection with a Caroline or a Marilyn? Yeah, Marilyn.
Who, you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I think it's the anniversary of a funeral today. Yeah,
Oh, bless.
I've just realised. Yeah, there you go.
That's what it is then, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's my mum. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure it's the anniversary of the funeral, and then my dad was yeah. So it's in between. Like it was different years. Like my mum,
yeah.
then she had the funeral, and then like years later, my dad
Sort of
my
around
dad
the same
started
time.
going downhill on the
Mm,
anniversary of my dad. my mum passing.
Yeah.
Me and my sister were drawn to go and have a last tea with him at the home and took him chocolate biscuits, crisps and stuff, because we both knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he was on end of life care and stuff, and yeah, it was a bit. Oh, bless you. Yeah, I didn't. I deliberately try and avoid dates, and yes.
Doesn't it always happen when you least expect it?
Well, yeah,
somebody
that's
say
right.
something, and it's
No,
it's
that's
nice.
great. No,
Yeah.
it's actually the anniversary of the funeral, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
bless her. Yeah, but I've had mum and dad come through on ghost hunts before.
Yeah.
It was quite funny because they used to work in Leicester. Oh wow. They used to have clothes shops and they used to have market stores.
All right. Yeah.
So they used to go, and it was clothing. So they went to Leicester because there's a manufacturing, the hosiery and all that there.
Yeah.
So they used to go there on a Sunday and one of the days as well, just to get stock away from Nottingham, because they wanted to sell something different from, they didn't want to go to the same wholesaler as other shops in Nottingham, you know. And one day I went to the Y Theatre, and I knew Mum was next door to me. And we went in, sat there at the start of this ghost hunt, medium on stage, doing the introductions. He says, "You've got a lady next door to you." I said, "Yeah, I've got Mum." And then he said, "Oh, I've got a person in a wheelchair behind." I thought, well, I don't know anyone in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Forgetting that my dad was in a wheelchair for the last maybe 2 weeks of his life.
Wow.
And it's like, oh yeah, I took my mum and dad to a ghost hunt. And also, like, I've been to a place called Sproxton, and for some reason one night the sat nav sent me home via Melton, which was totally the wrong direction.
That's strange.
And Mum liked going to Melton because she worked there on the market. And it was like, oh yeah, you made me come this way. And then as I did that, as I sort of acknowledged Mum going, oh yeah, you've made me come this way because you want to go to Melton, the car emergency engine warning light went on.
Wow.
Which, I still have got their car, my mum and dad's car. I've had a lot of interaction with it. I do mention it in my book.
Yeah.
My book
is coming out soon, isn't it?
Hey?
That's out soon, isn't it?
Well, it's been it kind of got delayed through unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was at the Paranormal and I had a reading with this person. Shocking with names, I'm terrible. This guy gave me a reading.
That's spirit, that is. I'm sure it is.
I'm always shocking with names. I really want to mention his name because he was there at the Paranormal this time. And, and he's brilliant. And he sort of gave me a reading and he says about something. And because I'm waiting on the book and it has got me down a bit, to be fair. But, I know the circumstances why it's delayed and stuff. Sorry, I wake the dog up, he's snoring. And he sort of said to me, October. And then I sat with somebody at the Paranormal and they confirmed that they discussed the book and it was going to be coming out in October.
Is it mid-October it's coming out? Sort of second week.
When's the Paranormal?
I don't know. I've got round about the 10th with you, 10th October.
It's a Paranormal.
Anything.
So I will confirm when my book of the 18th. But I may actually get it out just before then. So I've got to work out a launch date and everything else. So yes, so I think it is going to come out and
brilliant.
Yeah.
No, that's good. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Because I know
and it is circumstances. But recently, I have struggled with work and I have a lot of plans in motion at the moment.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're starting to move. And I think me winning that award, it's mad, but I think that was a turning point.
I think it's
kind of changed the way things are going for me now.
No, that's really good. It's kind of
even work has changed.
Yeah, a lot's
Hi,
changed for
Charles
you,
from
hasn't
Texas.
it?
Hope you're well.
A lot's changed.
Yeah, so I have a lot of things going on in the background, and like the dog stopped me from doing things because they had an eye ulcer. I had a meeting with somebody I couldn't go to. I had
But
to
don't you
cancel.
think this has happened for a reason?
Probably because I wasn't mentally well enough to deal with it.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
like if you bring a book out and it's about you and it's personal, you've got to be in the right state of mind to be able to deal with that.
Definitely,
Because people will make comments, because people can be horrible,
Oh yeah. You
You
can't do anything right, can you? There's gonna always be someone that just wants to throw that negativity little thing at you. But if you're not in the right frame of mind, it's hard.
See, you've even got Muppets having a go about the Paramate. What can you say? You've got together, loads of people have met up, they've had a damn good time, and we've had a laugh.
And then you get some keyboard warrior sitting there thinking, right, I'm going to say this, going to do that. You're like, why? Get a life. I mean, you've got another drama to watch.
Isn't it? Just get on with your life. If you don't believe, then whatever.
Yeah, get on with it. It's go and watch your soaps.
Yeah, that's right.
Go and find another drama.
Go and prepare your studio or something. Whatever, just get on with things. And
I just don't know how people have that time in their life to sit there and just put a load of negative rubbish up, and
that's
say horrible things when everyone's having a nice time. Pardon?
Life is too short. You've just got to get on with it. Why waste your time being funny and awkward with people?
Yeah, exactly. Just enjoy yourselves and have a good time, and and so what if you want to shout from the rooftops that you've had a good time? That's what it's all about. It gives you a good energy boost. I mean, especially nowadays, everyone's gone through COVID, lost a lot of family members or friends, and it's been a strain with everything else. And to all get together and talk about something that you all enjoy, all had all different experiences on different spiritual paths. It's great to all be sitting there and just, I did this, this is great. We're all together. Oh yeah, I know you, oh, long time no see. Or, oh, I've only seen you on Facebook. It's
this
nice.
Has happened.
Yeah.
So Jenny Sullivan, she also does a show on things like this. Has gone out on the Things Network tonight. So if you're actually watching on there, which Charles might be, I met Jenny Sullivan. Finally. I've known her about 4 or 5 years.
That's like Jane Mortimer. I keep saying,
I met Jane,
yeah. And I still haven't met her. I mean,
I
was going to come up the weekend, but things changed, and then I was working all day doing tarot cards in the shop. So, and then Sunday I needed to see my parents, and I just couldn't fit everything in. And it was really frustrating because it just gave me a headache because I really wanted to go.
Oh, bless you.
I was itching to go, but I just couldn't physically do it. But I'm going to go next year, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, it is incredible. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I walked in, I can't get in my room until 3. I sort of said, is my room ready? No, it wasn't. So I went to the bar.
Yeah.
And I saw a couple of people now. I first met her at Nooster Dabby. She's a good friend of Barry John's.
Yeah.
And I screamed because I saw her hello. And then Lauren came in. Karem was there, and Kevka, and and oh my God. So it's like a group of us who sort of arrived the day early.
Yeah.
And then Barry John came as well with his partner, and it was great. You sort of arrive early, sit, you have a chill, you buy a drink, that leads to another one, and then you're out there late. And Neil Story joined us, and then he did this he does this Victorian.
Was he the one that fell asleep behind you? Was he having a little snooze?
Shh.
Oh, sorry.
What happens at Paramate stays at Paramate.
He was resting his eyes.
He was resting his eyes.
Before it all started, before all the talks went on anyway, so.
Barry John was talking. And somebody
No, I'm
played
trying
Jim
to
and
cover it
Jenny
up.
with him. Yeah, like I was.
You had a
Barry was
big
talking, I was
breakfast.
crying. A few of us were crying because yeah, that was me with my camera, and then yeah. But
See, I would
you
love
know,
to have.
here you
I would
go,
love
and
to have met.
Andy's nailed
Sorry.
it. He was receiving spirit.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it was. Yeah, my apologies.
But
It
I
was a
tell you what, he was a
meditation.
right sod. He really was. Oh dear, no. Exactly right. People are very different and can be rude. If people sense things that another person, why not tell them? I think it's because they really want to believe, they're afraid to.
Yeah.
It was, Viv, and it was so lovely to see you as well. You know, and you look
Thank you.
stunning in that blue dress. And I've got so many
I
photos on
saw a
social media,
photo
but
of you in the blue dress.
she
Lovely.
looked absolutely stunning.
Glowing.
I have loads of photos to go onto Facebook. Last
Blue
night I was
suits you.
shuttered, but then I was chatting to Barry booking a hotel last night because we decided to book for the other one because we heard it was that weekend. So we went and booked it on booking.com. And then I wasn't happy about it because he got a free meal, cheaper, a good booking with a half board. So then I cancelled that one and got another one at 4:00. So
Did you say you're working there, or did you say you're a guest?
What?
When you booked for next year. You know, when you book, it says, "Are you a guest or working?"
Oh, I always put a guest.
Yeah.
You always say leisure.
Yeah. I thought, I wonder if you get it cheaper if you're working.
Probably
Try that one.
Yeah, because it's got a spa.
Yeah,
I nearly
I
went to the
know.
spa, but then everyone was there, and I thought, no, I'm not going to the spa.
No.
I've got friends to talk to.
Yeah, or even go to the gym. Sorry, I'm just pumping some. You know, you should be at the bar, chatting with
That's
friends.
right.
Yeah, no.
£7.20 for gin and lemonade.
Jeez, you mean you didn't take a sneaky bottle? I would have done.
No comment.
Malibu?
Bottle one.
Any Malibu?
But I'll tell you what, Neil's story. Oh my god.
Oh,
So the stalls were in the same room as the speakers.
Yeah.
So the speaker was in the centre, and then the stalls were around the outside.
Yeah.
So because I was like helping Neil pack her out,
Yeah.
I do help out. I did a bit of a desk, but I just took
Yeah.
loads of photos. I didn't,
I know you went
I
round
sorted
filming
things
as
out
well,
and was
didn't you?
running whenever I needed to sort things out.
Yeah.
So I was just there really to help. And I was there and the speaker was on, so Jenny stood near me and we were messing doing a selfie. Neil came like he was going to jump into it. He made a loud sound, and I won't say where from. Everybody around heard it. They started laughing. We started laughing, and he legged it down the next row. It's like,
thanks.
cheers, mate.
Oh my goodness.
We were crying, like Amanda was crying, Amanda Hancock, because she got a Black and Storm stand there. Because she does these events which are a mixture of occult and magic, which sound fascinating. I really want to go and see them.
Yeah,
and we just stopped crying, and like there's this speaker on, and it's like, oh my god, and it was just.
But isn't it nice though? You've all gone for the weekend like that, and you've come home, and it's when you sit back and think, actually, I've had a really good weekend. Just the silly little things that just make you chuckle from just one other person. It's just so nice. It was passing spirit energy. That's what it was.
Oh, but he's incredible. Neil's story is, and Jen, to see Jenny, she flew in from Ireland, and like last time Wes Coleman came from Canada.
Yeah.
The time before Mark Warbank from
New Zealand,
and and just to see these people who you have met on Facebook, and realise that they are exactly as you it's like you've known them forever.
Yeah.
You know, because they are real and the personalities somehow come through on everything you do, you know?
Yeah. That's like when I see Lori-Ann on some
Yeah.
of the
Oh,
things. And I
she's so
just look at
lovely.
how much she's sort of flourished through the years from
I
when
am
she
so
first
chuffed for her
started.
now.
You know, she's just brilliant. She's amazing.
Her
You know,
writing.
and the group of
Wow.
friends that she's made and
Yeah.
how, you know, she's come out and her writing as well.
The writing. Wow.
The details, I read it and I'm like, wow.
She's so descriptive,
Yeah.
isn't she? My
Very,
God.
very, yeah. And always got a smile on her face as well.
Oh, my. And she looks
Always.
stunning in a dress,
She
you know.
does. Yeah.
She's beautiful and
She's
she's
definitely a
without a doubt.
princess. Definitely. She
Oh,
can
but
slap me. But it would have been nice to. I would have liked to have met Paul Goddard though, because I've spoken to him a few times, and it would just be lovely to meet him because I find him very interesting.
yeah,
His
he
work that he
did a
does.
great speech sort of about
Yeah.
obviously what he does. He does past life regression, things like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just fascinating.
I'd like to sort of go up there and see him, or go down there. Is it? Yeah. To
It's
go and
north.
see
It's
him.
Pontefract now. So,
Oh, is it?
what did I say about the 15th of October? I think it's called King's Croft.
Oh, right.
18th to 20th of October. I think the hotel is called King's Croft.
Yeah.
And it's £12 per day or £20 for the 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's really cheap to get in. Obviously, it's just it's called King's Croft Hotel.
Yeah.
That's where
It'd
it
be
is.
too cold to take a tent. I have to find accommodation somewhere. I need to buy a camper van. That's what I need. And then I can go to all these events and park up.
That's my intention. I'm going to
I'd love
Skegness
one.
soon.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Cool.
East Anglia Paranormal, who here you go. Something's just fell down.
I heard that.
Now, have
That
I
a
moved?
picture?
No.
No.
Thank you. It's so good. It's normal. So
Just letting you know. Excuse me, I'm here.
So 2 hours ago, I moved the bag, and it's now fell. That's normal, isn't it? I don't even know if I've been in that corner. But it's, it's normal. It happens all the time to me.
Wow.
Was I shocked? No, it's normal.
Do you ever find though, being sort of in tune yourself, you're laying in bed and you can hear someone talking and you think there's
I'm not
people
that.
outside?
No, I don't hear.
Really, I wake up some nights and I'm like, for God's sake, why can't people have a conversation outside their own house? And I get up to go and look out the window to like give them the evils, and there's nobody there. And I'm like, oh, it's gone quiet. And then I lay back down and I can hear it again. And I get up and I peep through the curtains because if I peep, they won't see me. And then I can catch them outside. And then there's no one there. And I'm like, spirit again. And then I say, right, be quiet. I'm trying to sleep.
My arms have gone dead cold. So I think they've approached me. So it's so cool. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, who are you talking to now? Oh, what's going on?
It's just fascinating what we do, though, isn't it? But I want to thank you for your time because we're kind of naughty and we've overrun.
I know. I just looked at the time. Like I said, took legs off an iron donkey, me.
I'll get into trouble because the Dark Mirror show starts at 9:30.
Oh no, sorry,
and it'll be running now. So, but thanks
it's been
everyone for
lovely,
watching.
and thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it's been great speaking to you. But thanks everyone for the comments. And
No,
Andy, yeah, it's my mum, isn't it? And maybe that's a sign from mum as well.
Yeah.
But
She's telling you to wrap it up. She's looking at her watch going, come on, hurry up. Wrap it up. We've got things to do.
Or Dad wants me to get some equipment out because he likes playing with that, specifically at ghost hunts. Like you go to a brand new location, no one investigated there before, and straight away the equipment's working. No, that doesn't happen.
Well, let me know if you go to is it Newstead? if you
Yeah,
go there.
yeah,
Let me know if you go there, because I'd love to come,
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Never
That's
been there, so it'd be very interesting.
so
But yeah,
yeah.
it's been great.
Okay then. So
Thank you
thanks
so
everyone
much.
for listening to my
Thank
pod.
you.
So how do people find you?
Pardon?
How do people
Oh,
find you on
sorry.
Facebook?
I just got miles away then. At Lifetime Medium.
So that's on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay. So no, Andy, I'm so pleased you did. No, that's so lovely. It really is. It's just caught me off guard. But yeah, thanks so much.
Oh, thank you.
And if you do you do say, don't you? And yeah,
No,
thank you.
it's nice.
My mum wouldn't have been impressed if you hadn't said it, would she? She might have sung a song what got on your nerves all night or something, or kept you awake all night. So yeah,
No,
you've got to
that's
give it if
nice,
you get
Andy.
it.
That's what true mediums do as well.
Yeah, but no, that's cool. Thank you so much. But take
Bless.
care, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for nominating me, and thanks for voting, and I appreciate it totally. And it was a hell of a
Yes,
surprise.
thank you very much for having
Thank
me on
you.
tonight as well.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.